Hi. In the last session, we saw how the subject called human resources management evolved, and we saw the reason why one should learn human resources management. We also saw the definition of human resources management, what are the latest developments, and how it evolved into a serious stream of study. So this time we'll learn more into the subject, and we'll learn what is called human resources planning. As you know, nothing happens really without planning, and human resources no exception. So we'll try and understand why do we require such a detailed planning with respect to human resource. We first of all have identified and understood that human resources is actually the most important resource in an organization, and that is why it is so carefully being studied. Now we'll look into why and how this kind of planning is done with respect to human resources. Okay, this is one opinion which is given by Keith Davis, okay, a famous expert in that. An organization should identify their short-run and long-run employee needs, examining their corporate strategies. That is given by Keith Davis. So, an organization should be able to understand their long-term and short-term goals and employee needs. This is one. And it is the corporate strategies and objectives that set a planning horizon. So first of all, if we have to understand, if you have to go into the planning of human resources, first of all you have to understand, or you have to get to know till what time am I planning? What is the objective? What is the time horizon that I have got in my mind? So for that I have to set the corporate strategies and objectives which set these things in motion. Okay, so first of all, as an organization, the heads of the organization should be aware of, or should be very clear about their corporate strategies and objectives. And then this planning is set into motion. What is human resource planning? It is actually the process by which an organization ensures that it has the right number and right kinds of people at the right places at the right time, and that these people are capable of performing their tasks effectively and efficiently. So that is the more or less the theoretical definition of human resource planning. So you by reading this, you will understand that it is all about the correct mix, the correct people at the right place at the right time, fitting those people to the right positions at the right time, so that these people can achieve the best within the organization. So first of all, it is all about the right number. How many people are required to run this boat, and what are the kind of people that you are that you need to run this particular business, and at which all places. As you know, like you might have seen a very common event called the tug of war. Okay, the key positions are those people who stand at the front and at the back. So it's a key position to start with. So where we should put the right kind of employee, and at which all slots should we put? That is all about human resource planning, and so that these employees are able to perform in their respective positions, increasing the productivity of the organization, and effectively and efficiently. So this is the definition of human resource planning. Hope it is very clear. It is very easy. Right people at the right slot at the right time. That is all about human resource planning. So what is human resource planning? We'll just go in a bit more detail. It is the process of forecasting future demand for people. Every organization has got a certain demand for people, because it is an ongoing concern. Organizations expand, they get into newer areas, newer territories, and they expand even if they are having only one product and one geographical territory. They still look at increasing their production and sales and revenue, and hence profit. So how to get that, and how can I increase my efficiency, and how to find out the right kind of people mix? So it's about forecasting that. Okay, so we'll see the role of human resource planning in an organization. Okay, The first one being, it's already told, forecasting future people needs. When I'm saying future people needs, it's all about how many people are needed, it's how many, which all kind of people are needed, and what are people's need. When those who are recruited, what are people's need, identifying that also. Okay. Then a key important point is managing organizational change. Like I told you in the last session, organizations are right now in a highly dynamic environment. Products which were fashionable or popular 1 year back, it is no longer popular. Even something like an iPhone 4S, which used to command a huge price a couple of years back, right now it is available at less than 10,000 rupees. So the kind of changes happening is, it's quite fast. And customers are also changing from in a very short period of time. People who were using normal public transport, they have shifted to Uber, and all these things are coming in. So it's a constant change that we are seeing in our markets and in our customers. So how to manage that? When this environment is changing at a fast pace, can our employees also keep pace? It is mandatory. Otherwise, what will happen is that you will end up losing the entire market share. So how to manage organizational change? Sometimes it is forced upon the organization. Okay. Some organizations are very old, and to survive they have to change, and hence it is forced. Many employees go through the entire change process without much of a cooperation. They are very reluctant and all that. And even then they have to change. That is one thing. And there are certain organizations which should go into change willingly. They are constantly innovating, constantly developing, constantly improving their processes and all that. So how to manage organizational change? Many banks, for example, they have, since they have to comply with these Basel norms and all those things, they move into better and better policies, procedures, processes and all that. And because of that, right now we have got the convenience of core banking. That is, if I'm a customer of an X bank in an X branch, I can do all the activities from that branch sitting in some other place in India or even outside India. Okay, so that is a kind of facility that we have got because of core banking. Again, let me tell you, this was not a very welcome change. Many employees hated this, mega change or major shift, or this kind of a major technological shift. People who were not really used to working in computers, they started working in computers. There were people who were aged 40 and 50, then still they had to learn computers because that is part of their business, and they could not afford to do without computers. So all those things, it's a tough thing, managing organizational change. People resign because of organizational change. There's something called inertia. People like to stay where they are. If they are running, they like to keep on running. If they are sitting, they like to keep on sitting. If they are sleeping, they like to sleep. So people don't really like to change their comfort zones. So managing organizational change is a big task. It's the HR plan comes in that. Okay. When I am foreseeing a major shift in technology, how can I mold my HR so that this change is absorbed in the organization? Then creation of a talent pool. Again, organizations constantly are in the process of development and constant change. So whenever there comes an opportunity, the organization should be ready to take it up. The organization can't say that no, we are not ready and we need more time. For this purpose, an organization should have enough of talent with them, within the organization and outside the organization. The organization should be, or the company should be able to identify talent and be in touch with them. These people can be the prospects, or these people can be people who are already inside the organization, who are ready to take up a higher responsibility. So creation of a talent pool is critical. How can we create a talent pool? It is through, you can communicate through advertisements of, see, for example, if I am a great company to work with, I get featured in the top 100 best places to work in India or USA. And what kind of an image goes out? For example, Google. It's a company which everybody likes to work in. So when I see all these ratings which favor Google as one of the best workplaces in the world, as an employee or a future employee, as a prospect, I am ready in my mind to work for them. So I am constantly communicating with them, and within the organization also I am creating a talent pool so that if I am getting a bigger assignment or a bigger task, then there are people enough to handle that particular task. So creation of a talent pool is also a very, very important factor. And HR planning in a way acts as the basis of all HR functions, because once you do the HR planning, then only you will start the recruitment and selection process and training and all those related activities of HR. So only when you are ready with your HR plan, then only you are aware of what you are in really need of. So then only you can identify what kind of a tool to go for. Should I go for a campus recruitment, or should I go for a newspaper advertisement? Should I go for some kind of a internship, or should I give them a totally different challenge? All this is identified only when my HR planning is ready. So it becomes the very basis of all HR functions. That is one key important factor that we have got here. Okay. Then HR planning eventually results into a lot of skills development. So there are hundreds and thousands of companies in a country, okay, and all these companies, small or big, they are constantly into development of skills of their employees. So ultimately what happens, there is national skill development. People are equipped with higher skills. For example, if you compare the skill of the engineering skills of people who are in Germany or people who are in Japan, there you see that the skill level is much higher than that of an average company, than those of people who are working in India in an engineering company. This is saying it as an example. So you can see that through HR planning and the HR initiatives, you are increasing the skill levels of employees in a nation. So that is how HR planning is relevant. That is it's a major role of HR. HR planning also keeps this in mind. There are a lot of regulatory restrictions and requirements. For example, in India and worldwide also, companies are looking at more gender equality. Many companies take pride in stating that they are an equal employee, equal opportunity employer. So these companies give equal opportunity to male and female candidates.